Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me, I have Tomi Akimbobola, National Key Manager. Are you smiling?
Hi guys, been a minute.
It's been a minute. Hi, guys. It's been a minute.
Make I talk now.
And I have Precious there with me. Precious, how now? Our Potako chick.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Tommy,
Precious,
good evening.
Precious,
Hello.
do I pronounce your surname properly?
It's very rare for people to get my surname right.
So what's your surname?
So the spelling is Oden, the pronunciation is
Oden.
Oden. That's how
Oden.
it's pronounced in my local dialect, yes.
Okay, so
But
it's
everybody just sees Oden.
Oden, because I call it, I
Oden.
pronounce it as Oden. So, but it's,
You're from
but it's
Rivers, right?
Oden. Okay,
Yes.
Oden. Okay.
nice. Oden. Okay. Tommy, how are you?
So.
I like the color of your fabric, though.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's warm. Very nice. It's very.
I'm warm naturally, so
Oh my gosh.
I gotta give it
As
one.
for a soft guy.
You know, I mean, it's Franca that is always trying to dispute any compliment I get. You know.
Okay, so the compliment is the color of your fabric. It's not like I'm saying it suits you or anything. It's just the color of the
Who's
fabric.
putting it on?
Port
It's
The
me.
color has nothing to do with the wearer.
It's okay.
Precious, how Port Harcourt?
Harcourt is good. The weather is hot. And
Everywhere.
my area will be running gen for like a week now. Constantly, every night.
How do you guys cope?
See, I'm tired. Like
So there's no
at
band
this
A.
point, we're doing contribution for fuel.
I said they are doing contribution for fuel. They do a job to buy fuel.
Much,
Precious,
yo.
I beg. Precious, don't make me laugh. But what's actually the
Let's go
problem?
and tell VDM.
Precious, what's the problem?
So every time they will say something fell, one pole fell somewhere, rain
Like
fell,
always the
pull
case.
down something. The power plant is over. They've loaded it too much. It's overloaded. Always one excuse after another.
You know, to think
But
that Port
something
Harcourt is one
I'm
of the,
really enjoying the
one
life.
of the states that has very really good resources for Nigeria, right? Oil
Actually.
companies and
Now
oil
why
and
the, now
all
why the,
that.
now why the OCT carries suits for how many months some years ago? Is it last year, 2 years ago? You didn't hear about that? Where it was black. You can't even conveniently breathe, right? Precious.
In Port Harcourt?
Yes, no. Black. You can't wash clothes outside. Everything turn black.
Yeah, because of
But
pollution.
that was a while back. At least we'll finally overcome that one.
But now Port Harcourt, it happened now.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so today we're going to go spiritual. We're saying the role of spirituality in marital stability. And I like that I have Tommy because Tommy is a good Christian. I see him dress up every Sunday going to church. You know, so you go
Are you trying
church.
to sarcasm or what?
You know, so you go church every
Yeah,
Sunday.
they go, yeah.
So I want to see that your spirituality.
I don't be pastor. I can only speak from what I believe.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's actually your belief. So, but I want to know the role of spirituality in marital stability. Your take.
First and foremost, I mean, what joins the husband and wife together? The church, right? And true church is Jesus Christ. And true Jesus Christ is God. So,
Tommy, I
spirituality-
can barely hear you.
Okay, sorry.
No, leave him.
Can you hear me now?
Bedroom voice.
Can you hear me now?
Bedroom voice.
Can you hear me now?
Block my ear.
Yes.
Right. So I said, in the first place, right, what joins marriage together is the church, right? And through the church is Jesus Christ, right? So it means that for every marriage, there should be some sort of spirituality, I mean, to a certain extent, depending on how your spirit can carry it, right? Now, how does it help in the marital stability? Well, let me speak from the level of knowledge I can pull out from my experience and from, what we've heard so far since I've been growing up. Like it's rightly said, spirituality brings stability in marriage for so many reasons, right? Let's take, for instance, when it comes to challenges. When there's challenges in a relationship or in a marriage, first thing to do is to go down your knees and pray to God. And by praying to God, He brings both spouses together, right? they're able to pray. From this prayer, they're able to connect, right? They're able to, have a moment together and, from there see how they can navigate around whatever issue they might have. Okay. It also helps to, align values that both spouses have. When they need to meditate, it brings them together, of course, by force. You cannot do it separately. When it's time to do, spouse prayer, it brings both spouses together. And through the meditation, after meditation, they're able to, hold hands, speak to themselves. Maybe even if they've had previous issues, that meditation, kind of calms the whole situation and, helps to resolve if possible, right? Spirituality again in marital stability is also important because of the kids. Yeah, it for some reason it helps to put some sort of guidance, towards the way of life on how to approach the world, right? Things to do, instills fear. Of course, when you have God in your home, there's some sort of fear. Because, of course, when you fear your parents, you obviously fear God. And by extension, you are obeying all the commandments, that has been bestowed upon us right from inception, okay? So, to wrap it up, spirituality, yeah, it puts some sort of, essentially, it puts some sort of, should I say, guideline in a home, okay? When there's spirituality, it helps to conveniently or easily navigate through stormy weathers. Let me put it that way. It helps to put some sort of direction and some sort of. It also helps to help the family in moving forward. Say, for instance, there's a project or there's something you're looking forward for God to do. Both spouses can come together, pray. When they say where two people come together to pray, it's stronger than praying alone. So it also helps to help in helps in forcing down ask you might have. Of course, to God our Father in heaven. So I think pretty much I've been able to really put down what I think I understand when it comes to the role of spirituality in marital affairs.
Do you know why I'm smiling? He just feels that when he's talking with power, when he's just talking with power, I go just they say yes. Tommy is talking.
No. But that's
Talk
where I
to me.
speak when I want to when I want to concentrate. That's where I speak. So I'm different when I want to hammer on something. I'm also different when I'm playful. But when it's trying to be serious, I think I have a certain way. And it's not intentional. I just wear.
Okay, so bottom line, spirituality helps in marriage stability.
Yeah.
It draws you closer to Christ
And to your spouse.
and to your
It helps
spouse.
to navigate challenges. It helps to pray down, ask you might have from God. Maybe you're looking for promotions or whatever.
So those things you have mentioned,
Yeah.
are they the things that actually make a marriage stable?
So it helps to make a marriage stable. Especially when I said when you have challenges and you need to navigate around it, when you and your spouse are able to come together, kneel down or sit down, whatever it is, and pray to God. Some ways already bringing in calmness, right? Especially when you bring God into the matter, it brings calmness. And because you respect God, you honor God, because of that, you try to, forgive your spouse, whatever the case might be, or have some sort of sentiment or, soft aura around each other when you guys are trying to, sort out whatever problem you might have at that point in time. But yes, it helps to bring calmness.
I want to disagree with you because why I say that is there are a lot of people who are more spiritual than we are,
Yeah.
but they pray and all that, but they still have serious issues.
So I didn't say it's fixed.
No.
And it's
but
also
we're saying-
relative.
No,
Right?
so what I'm
It's
trying to say, you
between-
said
it's between
they
the
pray. So what you said,
Yeah.
based on what you said,
Yeah.
you said that the fact that you pray together, the fact that you ask God for something together, you understand? So that's what I'm trying to say.
In this
When you do
case,
those things,
I was speaking for myself, not for whoever. So
Okay.
whatever might work for me might not work for any other person, and it might work for another person. But this is, to me, that's why I said it's relative. Okay? So, like you said, you might have pastors, strong people who don't even have time for their wives. Right? And for some reason, the wife too is feeling bad. This guy doesn't have time for me. He has time for other people. And then she's looking for where to find time, which is one of the things I also even push all these people out. But that's another story for another day.
okay, so if you ask me, if I was going to come in here, I would say that when you say spirituality, your spirituality has to do with your values. Do you understand? And your values, how you see things, how you treat people. You understand? How you want to resolve conflicts because of what you believe in. Giving people that audience, respecting people. So my spirituality or my belief would make me behave in a certain way. And if I behave in that way, it would help my relationship because I become more accommodating. Do you understand? I would want to give you that room to also express yourself. I want to make life comfortable for you. Do you understand? That's where I feel spirituality comes in to help your marriage stable. Because if you pray, Tommy, and you do all those things, and you're not a good person, I don't see how it would affect.
Spot on.
You understand?
Spot on.
So my spiritual...
Pastor!
I'm done with you. Please. Precious, I need to stop here because this guy is... Precious, so what's your take on the role of spirituality in marriage and marital status? Stability, sorry.
So speaking from a therapist point of view, spirituality is not just about Christianity alone. It has to do, just like you rightly said, beliefs and values. Now, beliefs differ, so beliefs has to do with the different types of religion, basically a higher self that one believes in. So, as it has to do with Christianity, spirituality is different as it has to do with other religions because the beliefs and values differ. Now, this can also translate into marriage, but as long as the spiritual beliefs and values of these couples are the same, it can help to strengthen the marriage or stabilize the marriage. One of the easiest ways for couples to have conflict is their different values or their different beliefs. It might not even be a spiritual one, but as it has to do with spirituality, it can actually cause conflict if they don't find a common ground. So people can be of two spiritual beliefs, but because the values embedded in these beliefs are good values, they can still find harmony.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean, for instance, a Christian and a Christian will be perfect and a Christian and a Muslim will be bad news. No. It just means that the values that they attach to these beliefs are good values and they use everything good to make sure that their marriage is stable. The kind of childhood I had, we had parents of different spiritualities. And it didn't mean their kids were better than others or their kids were worse than others. I've seen people of different faiths, so to speak, different beliefs, live in harmony. From my point of view, remember, I'm not even inside. But I'm like, okay, these people agree on this. They know that when it has to do with the kids, we are one. When it has to do with, keeping a united front against any outside influence in our marriage, we are one. Whatever we argue in our bedroom is between the two of us. So the role of spirituality is very important if the values attached to the spiritual beliefs are good.
Spot on.
Yeah, so I agree with you, like I was saying before, because a lot of people, I don't think... So I'm not trying to be... A lot of us don't practice what we preach. That's the truth.
Exactly.
Because, yes, a lot of us don't practice what we preach. And I think that sense of entitlement, you understand, is a major factor, is a problem in certain relationship because
yes,
you would see somebody who understands certain things and who would even extend those gestures to somebody outside the home. But because somebody is
yes,
the wife or is the spouse or partner, you just feel entitled. You just feel, oh, you cannot be like this with this person. Because you feel that, oh, if I'm like this with this person will take advantage of me. If I'm like this, do you understand? And then you see people who go to church every single day. In fact, they are praying every morning they get up. Guess what? But they know how to keep malice. They're like,
yes,
they have PhD, in malice. You see people who are very petty. They go to church every day. Like, they will give in fact, they feel build church safe. Do you understand? But they're petty. Yes.
yes.
Yes, so your spirituality is not how much you go to church. It's not how much you pray. That's not what it is. Those things will not keep your home. It is about how it reflects on you as a person, how your spirituality reflects on you, how you act, how you behave towards people, what value you put on people. That's what keeps a relationship, marriage, friendship, whatever it is. You understand? So, at this point, at some point, was saying, is it that there's something that there's a cause, or there's something when it comes to marriages that just make people not realize that you're doing something wrong. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because you'll be shocked that there's someone who is very pleasant outside the house, told me. When I mean pleasant, when people want to give feedback on somebody, they'll be like, oh, he's a very nice person, he's this, he's that.
Easy going.
Easy going, not this, not that. But if the wife open her mouth, or the husband open his mouth, you think you're dealing with someone with two personalities.
Why is that?
That's what we're saying. Why is that? That's why I asked. Is it that there's a cost when it comes to marriages, or what? Do you understand?
No, it's not
Because
about course.
no, because people, that's initially I would call it entitlement. That's why I said there's a sense of entitlement when it comes to relationship. People just feel entitled that, oh, he's supposed to do this, he's supposed to do this, and all that, you know. And then aside from even our values, I think, again, so I don't know if I should use the word spirituality or Christianity, has put some set rules.
Yes.
They have put some rules that I don't think favors marriage. Because if you're saying, yes,
Can you say that again?
there are some rules that either Christian, I don't know whether to say is your spirituality or is your religion. Christian, Muslim, pagan, whatever it is, do you understand? There are some rules they have put that they've attached to marriage that doesn't favor marriage.
Like what?
Good. Some people will say, oh, when it comes to sex, you shouldn't do doggy.
Why?
Precious, have you not heard
This
it
is the
before?
first time I'm hearing such a rule.
Yes, don't do oral sex.
Don't do orals.
Why?
Tommy, I'm
It's a
telling you
sin.
what
Mouth that you are
happens.
supposed to use and praise God.
And did God say that?
Tommy, I'm telling you what happens. You don't have you heard.
It says when two come together, they come together as
Tommy,
one.
I am telling you
So my
what.
body is our body, our body is my body. So we are one.
Tommy,
So if
I
I
am.
do mouth,
Tommy, you see why I told
Tommy
you that
doesn't believe
people's.
it.
Tommy,
don't believe it.
Tommy, I'm telling you that's why before the show I told you that people have different explanation or interpretation of the Bible.
This is why I said it's whatever I believe
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm just telling you that. That's why I said I don't know whether to say it's a religious thing, a religious
in. The Bible
thing.
doesn't even say it.
Tommy, it's not.
If you want to walk by Bible,
Tommy,
Bible
we're
doesn't
not
even say
arguing about. We're saying people's beliefs.
it. Wherever they
There are
pick up the
different
belief from,
denominations. There are different.
it's
There are different.
shambles.
Tommy.
Because the Bible doesn't say it.
Tommy,
Yes.
if your church doesn't preach it, have you not heard of the church that
I've
that
heard
say
it.
people shouldn't watch TV? Is it in the Bible?
Wait, I wonder.
So what we're saying, these are things, these are doctrines that people just put out there. They don't. There are some people that don't wear earrings. There are some people that don't watch TV. There are some people that don't think that you should engage in certain things.
Some people don't wear trousers.
Yeah.
There's some. So, but you know, so I was speaking to some people and they said watching porn is a sin.
How is it a sin?
Tommy, do you want to argue that?
Is it a sin?
Do you want to argue it?
I'm not again. I'm just asking, is it a sin?
Precious, is it a sin to watch porn?
To me, it's not a sin.
Not a sin, no.
But in your church,
In my church is a sin.
To watch porn. Not like I'm a fan of it, but if you ask me, I don't think it's a sin. At least if it's between husband and wife. What's sinful about it?
Tommy, why are you saying, what is it? What is the meaning of if it's between, you are even putting a clause as a human being. Why are you saying if it's between husband and
It's
wife?
because
So
it's-
are you saying that an individual
Yeah.
can't
Cannot
watch
sit down-
porn?
You can watch now.
So why are you saying
I don't
between
want to say if they have to want to
But
put...
sin is sin now.
If
There
they
is
no,
Sin is
so
sin.
I'm saying if they have to
Sin.
put a clause to it, if they have to put a clause to it, okay. If it's between husband and wife, I don't see any problem with it. Now I want to bring it to individual. I don't see anyone in the Bible where it says you cannot watch porn, right? But then again, the people acting it, is it right? You want to go a step further?
It's a profession.
A profession. Committing adultery is a profession.
They're not committing
are
adultery.
they
Maybe who told you they're committing
So what
adultery?
are they doing?
They're acting.
They're
That's
married.
because
They're
you say you're a
acting.
Christian.
They're not connecting.
Why don't you think it's acting?
Okay, well, it could be acting. So I don't know. I don't watch it.
Exactly. They could be acting.
Okay, on that angle,
Just the way you watch the things in movies, are they true?
acting.
It's a story.
And
Acting.
then this porn can be used to even help improve relationship. No. So I'm giving you a point again.
Tommy,
why I don't find it
and
sinful.
if Tommy becomes a therapist, problem good day. Tommy, please educate us on how porn helps relationships.
Come on, if the relationship is boring for a husband and wife and they need to find ways to spice it up, you can go and watch porn to experience it. Okay. Oh, we could do this. We could do that. I think it's a norm. It should be a normal thing with your
But if your
spouses.
church, if your faith or spirituality is against it,
My faith is, I say my belief is what I believe in. I don't find it sinful to sit down with my wife and watch porn.
okay. So from what you just said now,
Yes.
so what is scenario where you're saying, oh, if you watch porn, it would help your relationship.
So I'm
And
not saying to help. I'm saying it could help.
could.
For people who are trying to spice up their
It could.
their
It's a
sex life.
solution.
Yes.
It could help.
Yeah.
Now that's one. That's some. You're finding a solution for a
Yes.
couple who have boring sex
Yes.
life. Good. And now you're saying, oh, why don't you do this? But they're telling you that, oh, their church or their faith
Yeah.
is against it.
Their faith or their church faith.
So every individual goes somewhere. So,
So whatever is preached in my church does not make my own faith. Yeah, I might go to church, but I still have my belief.
Tommy,
Yes.
there are people who are not like
Excited
you.
that this topic today.
Tommy, there are people who are not like you, who whatever the pastor is preaching is what they take because they don't have a mind of their own.
They are doomed.
Yes, hook, line, and sinker.
They are doomed. So yes, you can go to church for guidance, direction, no doubt. But then again, it still comes back to you to help yourself and really understand it. Because all these people, anyway, don't let me go diverse and say things I don't want to say on TV.
So in that instance we just stated, so would you say that their spirituality has helped their marriage?
You already outlined it properly. It's belief. So they are interwoven. The belief is what actually helps. Their marriage. So, of course, your belief aligns with your value, or your value aligns with your belief. So, if your belief is good, then of course your spirituality is good. So, yes, spirituality helps. So, I'm trying to look for a better way to put it. Belief and spirituality.
So
Belief
even
and
if you believe, so I believe that
and
watching of
spirituality.
porn doesn't align with my spirituality.
Belief.
My morals, as far as my morals is concerned,
Yeah.
you understand, that's because of what has been put inside me or what I believe. Porn isn't something I should indulge in.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
That's from, and that's those things I think I know is based on what I understand my spirituality or whatever it is I'm being taught in my church or my community has put inside me.
That's you.
That's what I'm saying. I'm giving an example.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So, but then I go see a therapist who is saying, oh, to spice up my soul. I'm giving an example and I'm saying, oh, I'm married to someone and we have a boring sex life. Everything is good. We're working, but they say sex is important in every relationship, in marriage. Now, we have a very boring sex life, and that's because we're novice when it comes to this thing. So we actually need to understand what each other needs. So we need to indulge in certain things. And now, to indulge in those things, we actually have to understand what it is. So we're searching. We're looking, so we're supposed to be searching. So we're supposed to be looking for things that would enhance us, ask questions, go on tours, just be inquisitive and, adventurous. Now, part of the things that would help us is porn. But guess what? My faith, my belief, and all that doesn't align with that. But that's something that would help me. So in that instance, do you think that my spirituality is helping my marriage?
It's not helping your marriage.
Precious, what do you think?
At that exact moment, it's not helping your marriage
Exactly.
because you went to seek solution to the issues you're having in your marriage. And if various options have been given to you, then you should be able to explore all of those options because you want to save your marriage.
Yes.
I mean, the solutions given are not saying you should go and kill somebody. They are not asking you to end someone's life. They are not asking you to destroy, lives and property. It's just simple. Watch a movie, watch a scene, or something even as simple as reading an erotic book. There are people who cannot read an erotic book. So it goes even beyond the watching of the porn itself. You even give them a love book to read. Okay, just read. Follow what the person did and do it to your partner. They don't want to read it. And yet, we have these things written in the Bible, and they don't want to hear it.
No, so but it's really bad. I think I even went too far by making it about sex. I know some people who would not even take blood or drugs when they're sick. Precious.
That's ignorance.
Yes.
Yes, they would.
We say that spirituality. What is blood ignorance?
No, so you need to respect people's. I have learned to respect.
Heaven helps those who take care of themselves.
Who help
Which
themselves.
spirituality is? Come on, I don't know.
Told me that we.
It still comes back to believe again.
But you see, you would not. They have a reason to believe whatever it is they believe, so you would respect them.
Let them respect it now. And how far have they gone with it?
No,
We've seen a lot of people that, because of their spirituality, they allow their spouse, their kids, their relatives to die because they don't want to give them drugs or take them to the hospital. Rather, they will say, pray, 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 and eventually they lose that person.
I like what you just said. Pray, 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 pray. Prayer is not the only thing that, you know.
I said, heaven helps those who help themselves. Do the necessary things by the books. Then after that, leave it to God. Go to Him. At least you know you've done your part. But letting the doctor administer whatever drug that needs to be used to get that person better. You've done your own part. Then now you cannot go to God in prayer. We've done our part, so Father Lord, take control.
So it is even bad. So I think we're even going too far. It is even bad to the point where sometimes in relationship, you know that the problem is not prayer. You just need to have a conversation. Do you understand?
It's not prayer. Let me give you a typical example.
Not prayer.
Oh, yeah. I want mango to grow here. Mango, grow. Without putting seed in the ground. You go pray that kingdom come. Nothing will come out of there. What are you supposed to do? Take the seed, plant it. Heavenly Father, please water this plant. Let it grow. So, I mean, there are processes.
Even Father will not water it because not be every season rain
Yes,
before.
You understand? Just
sometimes
pray for it to happen.
You go even go find water to water.
Thank you. And then now pray over it, please, God, let this thing grow and germinate and be fruitful. But just go in there and say, heavy, grow. They play. I'm telling you.
Told me just something else. Told me just everything. So as much as I don't want to abuse people's faith and belief, I just feel that, you know, life has to be a combination of everything. You know, they say give to Caesar what is due Caesar. You understand? So I just feel that life is a combination of so many things. Yes, I believe in having faith. Your morale should be intact and all that. But guess what? You see, that street is very important. You understand? I am of the opinion that it has to be a combination of everything. You understand? Even in your spirituality, be realistic. Ask questions.
Be practical. Life is all about being practical
and logical. Do you understand? Be practical and very logical. Yes, because how would you just think that, okay, so it's not like I don't believe in miracles. I do believe in miracles. Yeah, miracles happen. But, do you understand? There has to be some work. Your marriage or your relationship cannot be bad. And all you do is pray. And you don't put in any effort. And you expect it to be fantastic. No, it's not going to happen.
Effort on both sides, not even
both sides,
one.
Not even exactly.
Yes.
Not even from one party. Effort from both sides. So it's you can't have, for example, you can't be quarreling about something. You don't want to have a conversation with the person that you are fighting with, but you are praying for the matter to end.
No, you even wake up in the morning and call the person for morning devotion. Meanwhile, you have unresolved things that you need to talk about.
Oh, mother, that's silly.
They play.
That's silly.
It happens, though. People, it happens.
And they will go, and that person will go and pray.
It happens.
So who they deceive?
Yeah, so and then you now blame the person for not joining you to do the prayer.
Whereas you are the
This
problem.
is the reason why we're having problems in this house. Because you will not pray with me.
They play.
So
they will not tell you a family that prays together stays together.
You're tripping.
So from what we have said, spirituality in marital stability, is it that we're just discussing the negatives?
I said the positivity. I mean, the
positive. Oh no, we talked about the positives.
Yeah, it helps.
No, but on a scale of 1 to 10, which is more?
It's 50-50. And again, it's relative.
Precious, what would you say? Would you say it's 50-50?
Actually, I would say it's 50-50 because, and the reason is, we have more documented stories of the failures and less documented stories of the successes. So all you hear are issues, problems, and people don't, even when they come out to tell you, oh, they succeeded at this marriage, they don't tell you the exact things they did. So we just think it's fairy tale. But there are as much success stories as their failure stories.
I know the negative story is always the one that, flies.
That's the one that makes the round.
No, let me tell you what it is.
Actually, man.
Let me tell you what it is. I won't say it's a 50-50. You know why I say that? Because just spirituality is not what makes the marriage stable. Spirituality, self-awareness, intentionality, a combination of so many things is what makes it work, not just spirituality. So you cannot say spirituality alone. Do you understand?
So based on your question, we answered.
That's what I'm saying. The role is not a 50-50 based on spirituality in relationships. You need to put in more than just spirituality. It is more than spirituality. Emotional intelligence.
And it was based on your question we answered now.
No, you don't get my point. The question was,
would you say what other attributes?
I didn't ask about what other attributes. My question is or was, would you say spirituality, the role of spirituality in relationship, only just spirituality makes the marriage work? And you said it's a 50-50. It might work, it might not work.
That was the question?
Yes.
Precious.
That was the question.
Was that the question?
Yes, I was the one that asked it. So my point is, do you understand?
Yeah.
It would not, I would not say it's a 50-50 because the ones that work is not just about, in fact, the ones that we hear is because it's just spirituality. They're they're counting on just religion. Do you understand? They don't put in, it doesn't mean that, there's sometimes they even put in the work and the person is not just working. Don't get me wrong. There are exceptions. You understand? But really, emotional intelligence, intentionality, and then spirituality is a combination of everything, because at the end of the day, God is always involved in everything we do. But you have to be intentional. Do you understand? I think that's what makes, so I would not say it's a 50-50. Because some people just feel that, no matter how bad it is, once you're spiritual, it will work. That's not true. Do you agree?
See, all the things you listed, it comes under belief.
That's what I'm saying. But guess what? Emotional intelligence.
Under belief. If you believe it, it's fine.
No.
If you don't believe it, too bad. But of course, emotional intelligence will help to make the marriage work, no doubt.
I don't agree with you.
Emotional intelligence will make the marriage work, no doubt. If you believe it.
How can you
if
say
you don't believe it, you will not do it now.
What
If you're a person will go run now, go do them, we go make the marriage work.
No, what do you mean by if you believe it? Please explain.
Okay. You and I know that emotional intelligence will help, of course, crave a better way in a marriage, right? Now, but if as an individual you do not believe in emotional intelligence, the marriage will not work.
How can you believe in it? It's not about belief, it's having emotional intelligence.
You don't have, you don't believe.
You don't know, Tommy, no.
It will not work if you don't have it, right?
Let's not argue.
If you don't have it, it's not work, right?
No, Tommy,
answer the question. If you do not have it, it will not work.
Tommy, listen, let's not argue just for arguing's sake.
If you do not have emotional intelligence, will it work?
If you don't have emotional intelligence as a person, it's not just, listen.
Yes, as a person.
As a person, you will not move, you will not forge ahead in anything.
Bah.
That's it.
Good.
It's not whether you believe it or not. Do you understand? Even in speaking to someone, what we just call it emotional intelligence. It's being able to understand this environment, what to say,
so
what not to do.
You can have emotional intelligence and not believe in emotional intelligence. Do you know? Let me take us on another dimension.
Tommy, educate us.
Let's move on.
I like to learn.
I say let's move on.
No, because I just feel you like to argue sometimes. So how can you have Precious? I don't understand. Can you have emotional intelligence?
I was just twisting you, Jerry. Let's move on.
This guy not gets himself. So, but Precious. So, Precious. So what's your take? So, would you agree with what Tommy said
on
emotional intelligence?
No.
What did Tommy say? First of all, let's start with that.
Tom, I didn't hear you. Said
no, because you said no. What did Tommy say that you don't believe in? Let's start with that. What did I say?
That she doesn't agree with.
Emotional intelligence. What did I say as regards emotional intelligence?
Say it again.
Please, let's quickly go on a break. Let's go on a break. Let's just go on a break. Precious, please, you just killed me. Right back. This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can call us on our WhatsApp number 08190384663 or join in the conversation live to call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Precious, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a marriage counselor, like couples and marriage counselor, what is your take on spirituality in marriages? How do you think it's affecting or improving marriages?
Okay, so once a couple has, let's start with the same belief. Once a couple share the same spirituality beliefs, it can be easier for them to understand their motives, not all of their motives. Why do I say so? If you share the same faith, you probably go to the same place of worship. You do, so you're used to doing things in a particular way. So if one partner proposes a solution to something, it might not sound so weird to you because you have the same spirituality. Now, when I started, I talked about values and belief. We all agree that good values benefit people. And then as a couple, it will also benefit you. So imagine that a husband and wife are Christians and they have an argument. And ordinarily, that argument would have caused them to keep malice. Because Christianity does not like malice, it says keeping malice is a sin. Sometimes it can prompt them to reconcile more quickly. Just because I don't want to be seen committing a sin. I don't want to be known committing a sin, or I don't want to go to bed, without talking to you, so it does not translate to me keeping malice with you. So I think Tommy also mentioned it, as it has to do with conflict resolution. It can speed it up if both of them have the same belief about what keeping malice or fighting for long periods of time, how it can damage the marriage. There's also the area of emotional support. So if one needs emotional support for any reason, we know that in Nigeria, couples that are Christians, you see the women be more spiritual. I grew up in a home where my mom was more spiritual than my dad. So my mom was allowed to do the things she did, to train us in the way she trained us, because my father understood and gave her the emotional support to say, yes, Christianity is good, train the kids in the Christian way. So as children, we learned the tenets of faith, we learned how to fast, we learned how to give. So it can even translate into teaching good morals to the kids with ease. So there is no, why did you teach them this? This is not what we do in my own spiritual aspect. So there can be this emotional support that you have that, look, whatever I'm doing, my partner supports me because we have the same kind of spiritual belief. And these things can help. Like we said, it's one of the tools. Spirituality is one of the tools that can, help to stabilize the marriage. So yes, some of these things can also help.
Okay, so for every time you were speaking, you just kept mentioning same belief, same belief. There are couples who are of different faiths, as in beliefs, different
Yes.
religion.
Yes.
There's a Christian. I've seen Christians marry Muslims. Are you saying
Yeah.
because, I don't think that it's only when they have the same belief that it works.
No. So they can be of different beliefs, but the values are the same. Most religions or faiths practice certain, I call them life principles. So there is be kind, be nice, like these are general things. I don't think there is any belief or religion that actively promotes certain bad characteristics or bad values.
Yeah, so
The
basically
values
the
might
same.
differ. Our interpretation of them might differ. But at the core base of it, each belief, each spiritual belief, each faith has good values attached to it. So yes, you can be of different spiritual beliefs, but the values can align.
I agree with you. Okay, so but as a counselor, have you had any experience where this was a major issue?
Between the couple, no. I've seen a couple of cases where it is when the couple allow outside influences. And so so it's not the couple actively saying it's because we are of different faiths. It's more like saying, oh, the influence of either my mom or my dad is saying that you don't understand me because we are of different faiths. Meanwhile, it might be you don't understand me because I am not communicating properly to you.
Okay, sorry. So you're saying that the couples don't have issues, but the extended, maybe the in-laws, might not be getting along with one of them
Yes, the
because...
few that have, yes, I've not personally met a couple that it is because of their faith they're having issues.
Okay. Yeah, so from what you just said, it could even extend to the in-laws because they have certain expectations from their own, because of their own religious background. And because you don't do what is expected, it would also affect the marriage anyway.
Yes, it would.
It would also affect the marriage. But what of cases where I've seen where parents actually go to different churches?
Same thing.
So how does that affect the home?
So it's almost, will I say, almost similar with different faiths. So when we're doing premarital counseling, and we'll come across couples who state it categorically, look, I will not stop going, as has to do with Christianity, I will not stop going to my church. One of the first problems that they come across is when we start having kids, who will they follow? it's always easy, before you have kids to say, hey, I'm okay with them following my husband. Once those kids come, most times the so-called agreement fizzles out. It now becomes a thing of struggling to see, the children go with either the father's faith or the mother's faith, or go to the father's church or the mother's church. I currently have a couple that they don't even have kids yet, but this is the current challenge, because while they were doing marriage counseling, the woman kept saying it. I will not change church. I hope that is not a deal breaker for you. And the man agreed. And when I was talking to him, because they didn't do the marriage counseling with me, of course, they did it with church. So I think it was his church. It was his church that conducted the marriage counseling.
Okay.
And so I asked him, when this woman was saying it during counseling, because he concurred that yes, she was actually saying it. What did you think? He said he thought that after they got married, he could convince her to change.
Okay.
So he kept making comments like, well, it's better for husband and wife, as we hold hands with our kids. And the woman is still saying, but when I was telling you, did you think I was joking? We are still on the matter. Sunday morning is always a trying one for them.
Okay. Okay, so but what's your take on spirituality, the pressure, because of spirituality, pressure to stay in an unhealthy marriage?
Oh, it has to do still with what will people say.
No,
I don't want to break.
Is it more of what will people say, or that it is not right in the sight of God?
Oh, there are so many reasons. Some, what will people say? Some, it's not right in the sight of God. Some, it's, my mother is from a broken home. I don't want to continue, I want to stop that so-called family curse. So because they want to be the ones to stop the family curse, so there are so many reasons. They stay in an unhealthy marriage, a marriage that they know is going nowhere. So some will say, my church will not allow it. And then we have actively spiritual men of God, pastors, spiritual heads, telling couples that no matter what happens, you must stay together. Because so they sum it up by saying, all the devil wants is to see you separated, and you don't want the devil to win.
I've even heard cases where they say the devil is against after marriages.
Yes, the devil is after marriages.
The devil is after marriages. So that's the more
so
reason
you should not
why,
allow the devil to win in your marriage.
That's why you should endure. Just continue to endure and pray. Meanwhile, this is something that needs professional help. You actually need professional help to actually sort out what's going on. Each person needs to understand what they are doing wrong so that they move ahead.
Yeah.
But then the church is telling you, no, it is the devil that is trying to break the marriage. So just continue to pray. Those are the, those are the downsides
The man that they're about to hung, or they've hung, that killed his wife, this musician.
Oh, okay, that story. That's the lady that sang Ekweme, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Osinachi.
I'm sure the church.
Osinachi,
the church
yes.
was also about people that were telling her to stay and stay and stay and stay on. Till she eventually lost her life. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to simply say is,
okay,
make your decision.
Okay, but in that scenario,
yeah,
she was singing. She had opportunity. She was making money. So what exactly would you say was the problem, Precious or Tommy? What would you say was the problem?
The guy was insecure now. What's the problem? She was making money than he was.
Okay.
And because of that, resentment grew. And then he started beating her, even asking the kids to stamp her on the floor. And over time, the injury, she gave up and she died. So if I were to advise her then, I'd tell her to leave the marriage. This guy is insecure. He doesn't appreciate the fact that you are supporting the family. Rather, he's feeling insecure that you're doing better than him.
Yeah, because I even heard stories where she would even have shows to go for, events to go for, and the guy would be against it.
Yes. That's some stupid ego issues. But
now he's sentenced to death by hanging, right?
Yeah. Serves him right. I'm sorry, unfortunately.
So, but what happens to those children?
Exactly.
That's the sad part. But come
he
on.
Damaged the ricochet effect.
He damaged. He caused the damage. He caused the damage.
She also played a part. God
Caused
rest
the
her
damage.
soul.
And unfortunately, the children are the ones that will suffer the consequences of the
Yes.
parents' action. So, I mean, if we really consider our children's future, we should always try to also consider them. But of course, not to say that if you are suffering in your relationship, you'll not break up. Please walk away from an abusive relationship.
Because I'm actually wondering how is it that she wasn't speaking out? She didn't speak
So
out.
she probably must have spoken, especially to her church
You know,
people.
unfortunately, she's late, so we can't ask her certain questions.
Yes, but I want to believe she probably would have
the
spoken to
fault
her.
does not lie predominantly with the husband.
She probably haven't spoken to her relative, maybe sister, relative, or church or somebody. I'm sure maybe church. She was a gospel singer. And those ones obviously we say, don't worry, God will make a way. Just keep praying until she lost her life.
It could also be she never cried for help.
I'm sure she did. Now who's
So
going to
there are so
suffer?
many
Now who's going to suffer it now?
question.
Who's suffering it? Who's going to suffer it now? The kids. Is it this Nigeria where we don't have proper childcare support, proper
Even the
social
ones whose
welfare
parents
and all
are
that?
find it difficult. How much more the ones whose parents are not present in their lives?
Okay, so again, going back to spirituality, so there are some part of the world, part of the country or world where certain things are not ideal as a man, as a woman. So as a woman, so if you were if you were married into a family where the women are not supposed to work because of their belief, you understand, or okay, let's say the women are not meant to work, you're not allowed to do certain things, but you get into that relationship because of the religion. You get into that relationship, and then you're faced with that kind of scenario, kind of situation. What would you do?
So first and foremost, I want to believe you already know you are dating. I mean, you didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to marry you. I'm sure you already got to know her and know the kind of religion she's coming from.
But you know that there's change. Precious would understand what I'm speaking to. What you want at 25 is not what you want at 30.
Well, true. We never knew Nigeria would be like this today. So, of course, I mean, there's things are more expensive, and some people's salary didn't even change, and then obviously you need support. Right. So now in that instance, it's open conversation. Yes, I understand that your religion does not support you working, but this is the reality of things. Things are not expensive. We need to do things together. Are you open to coming out to do something? And if she still says, no, my religion does not do it, then that will lead to issues. Resentment will come in. The guy will start to misbehave because, I mean, he's under pressure and you need support and you're telling me you just want to sit at home doing nothing. That can lead to the end of the marriage, honestly. Yes, like you rightly said, what you want today, 5 years down the line might change. Yeah, that can lead to the end of the marriage.
Okay, so we have just a minute. Precious, you want to say something before we leave?
Yes, as much as spirituality is one of the tools that you can use to build on your relationship, on your marriage, please, it is not the only tool. And it is not the first tool, because sometimes people just think spirituality first and other things follow. We talked about emotional intelligence, we've talked about self-awareness, so many other things. Spirituality is just one of them. It's a tool that when added with other tools can make your marriage the best that it can be.
Yeah. Tommy, you want to say something?
Man, we've said it all. Whilst we have our beliefs and we have our religion, I mean, let us do what is right? And, of course, have God in prayers to help us, navigate around this whole thing called marriage.
Yeah. So for me, I would say that spirituality is actually a very good thing if practiced right.
Yes, if practiced
If practiced right, yes, because it's supposed to instill certain things in a human being. And then if as a human being you actually understand what spirituality is and what is expected of you as a human being, then everything will just work. Because even in spirituality, there's emotional intelligence, there's emotional intelligence, there's mutual respect for people, empathy, love, genuine love for humans. So if you actually have all these attributes, or you're able to extend it to the next person, regardless of what you're benefiting or even how that person is, do you understand? You would have the best relationship, because you would get angry, but because there's genuine love, you would always want to treat that person, you understand, nicely. And the truth is, there's no human that you'd extend something to and the person will reciprocate.
True.
So it is what you give that you get somehow.
Yeah.
So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Practice.